States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're calling the Cottrellville Township Board meeting together. Today's Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, 7:31 p.m. Could we have the roll call attendance, please, Sherry?
Bev?
Here.
Mary Agnes?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
Sherry? Here.
Okay. We also have Lynn DeLugie. She was our former treasurer, and we made arrangements to keep her on because she did such a wonderful job, and she's our new controller. All right, let's go with the consent agenda. Now I'll start with agenda approval. We've got a couple of new things that I've placed on your desk there. 2 items for Leo's Pest Control. They have been our pest control people for a number of years, and the agreement was he can stay as long as he doesn't go up on his price, and he meets that every year. So we'll keep that one off. Also, we have Chris Hiltman, who is our DPW superintendent for Cottrellville. He keeps us abreast of what's going on with a very important loan that we're going after for our sewers. So I'm going to put him under unfinished business A after we go through the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented with those 3 items. And I would so move. Sorry. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. All right, the first item is the consent agenda. We have the meeting minutes from, is that working? We have the meeting minutes from Wednesday, February 10th. We have the treasurer's reports for investments reports, reconciliation of the checking account and tax account, and cash summary reports by fund. We also have the expenditure from the clerk's office, expenditure and revenue report for periods from February 1st to the end of February 28th. That's 24 pages. The approval of paychecks, payroll dates from February 1st to February 28th, and a gross total amount of $21,190.49. Paychecks number 2713 through 2734. The approval of accounts payable, $348.32 that were paid between January 1st and January 31st, or should be February 1st and February 28th. And then $196,065 for 33 checks that were written to pay bills for the period. Checks number 20736 or 20768. Correspondence from the Marine City Area Fire Authority, which is our fire department for most of the township for February, and also one for Ira Township. Fire runs for February as well. That's all we have. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. By roll call vote, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Open session. Anyone that wants to address the board, please go to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, and that will be for anything that's already on the agenda. Okay, since no one came up, we're going to go on to unfinished business. That would be Chris. Would you stand up there, sir, and give us the...
So last board meeting, we had discussed, or you had approved the moving forward with the investigating of the sewer system repairs and putting together all the documentation, everything we need to for pursuing a loan for that. You remember back in 2017, we finished up our SAW grant, which was basically to do the investigative work of the sewer system and let you know where the deficiencies were. Part of that SAW grant, though, was to, at the end of it, you had agreed that we would address any deficiencies within the system. We know that there's a lot of deficiencies in the pump stations and everything, so this is the next step going forward. The SAW grant had stated that there was probably about $2.5 million worth of infrastructure work that needed to be done to bring the system back up to where it should be. Those figures were based on 2017. As we all know, the cost of things have gone up, so when we initially put the facts and figures together, we were at about 2.5 million with that SAW grant stuff, and been working with Project Control over the past month to put closer figures together to know what we want to go look at. So a couple of the other things that were involved is there is some portion of these loans that could be turned into grants. It's basically called principal forgiveness. So part of it is if you were a disadvantaged community, there's a lot of different criteria that you have to meet to become a disadvantaged community. There's a portion of the loan that can be forgiven. They make that determination between June and July is when we'd know. At first, we were not considered a disadvantaged community when we were looking for 2.5 million. When we finally crunched the rest of the numbers and came back, the loan amount had increased to 3.3 million. That's about what the project's going to cost. With those new figures and everything, we did qualify for disadvantaged community loan forgiveness. So there could be a portion. They don't know exactly how much. It could be 10% to 100% principal forgiveness. So that's determined after all the other paperwork's turned in. We're also applied for green, I think it's called the Green Project Reserve application. That's another avenue to look for some principal forgiveness. That's basically proving that the township is going to reduce energy costs, reduce infiltration, inflow, and all that into the system, which in turn would trickle down to the Marine City wastewater treatment plant and help them out. I can just let you know, based on just some of the stuff like Sherry's provided, she's done an awesome job like feeding us information that we needed. But based on your water purchase from Marine City and what we pay for sewer, I'll just use a ballpark figure. We buy about 25 million gallons of water from Marine City. We send them over 100 million gallons of sewer. That should never be. If we buy 25 million gallons of water, that in all reality should be what goes down the sewer and then goes to them. So we're paying 4 times as much in sewer. So every year we're spending that money. So I know the figures of $3.3 million sounds like a ton of money, because it is a ton of money, but that's over a system that was put in and was maintained, but no improvements ever been done, no big improvements, no big maintenance. It's just sort of kept it running. So we should see the immediate savings once the project is done. So that the green infrastructure part of it, there could be some principal forgiveness for that as well. So it's just a couple of
Is
the.
it possible to get grants from both of
Yeah,
them and
yep,
it would still
it's
qualify?
possible for both. There's 2 different avenues to
Okay.
get the money. So that's why Anthony's done a phenomenal job keeping on Eagle about that and getting everything submitted. So it's basically just wanted to give you an update, sort of what we're doing, where we're headed, and let you know. There's no hard figures yet. Right now we're just started populating the information into the software that you had approved last meeting for rate studies. So once we get all that populated in there, we'll be able to see what this project, what the end, because for the customers, for everybody that's in the room who has sewer, they don't really care about what I'm saying. They care about if their bill is going to go up or, if there's going to be any additional costs. There may be some additional costs that need to be allocated, but this project's going to be basically financed over a 40-year term. That's what the systems are basically financed for. So we'll know better in 2 weeks what that's going to look like. We'll keep you up to date, with all the information that we have, so that you guys can make, informed decisions on which direction that you want us to go. So,
Very good. Anyone have any questions of Chris? Tom, how about you?
No, I'm glad we're moving forward with it.
Yep.
Disposal bills, that's just, we've been paying that way too too long. We gotta get something done, rectify some of the major leaks, hopefully sooner than later, and start working from there out.
Yeah, we found, just so you know, we did find one earlier, this winter that was a major, source of infiltration, so, those kind of things would be more things that we find. And also, just so you know, Nick's been working in those stations.
That pump station closest to Roberts Road, is that where you find that, from there south, is that where one of the major things is?
That infiltration's coming in from everywhere. We found some major leaks down there at that number 5 station, we call it. It's at Roberts Road. There was a really, really big area of infiltration between Station 3 and 4 that we found. We had that repaired, and that I think has cut down about 20% of what we were seeing. So that was one piece. So, and again, I just wanted to stress, Nick's been maintaining these pumps and stuff. Just this past week, he has spent countless hours repairing parts that are breaking. So once these new stations are in, it's going to be, for us, it's going to be a big sigh of relief for maintenance too. This is our busy time of year coming up, if you will. April is usually a wet time of year, and those infiltration issues really show themselves at that time. So
Okay, very good, sir.
that's what I got.
Can I ask a question? Just roughly,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can answer the question.
sure, why not?
What percent of the township actually has sewer? Just curious, I have no idea.
We have how many customers?
About, what do we have, Sherry? 468 sewer customers.
Yeah, I know, I just sent it to you.
Yeah, we just did that today, so, about 400, let's just say roughly 500, of our residents are tied to the sanitary sewer. It's really just off of River Road and any roads that come off of River Road,
In the trailer park,
and the trailer park.
Shangri-La. Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Yep, no problem.
See you maybe next month then too with another update, eh?
Sure.
Okay,
That would be great.
Is Chris gonna be staying for the whole meeting or no?
Yeah, I know.
If you need him
I
to,
got a question about the water mains out in the country, is all.
Oh, yeah, me too.
you want to take care of it right now?
Yeah, we can, if that's fine.
All right, I'll address the water mains in the country real quick too then. So, I don't know, I mean, maybe the board doesn't know, but I'll make you aware. We've been having a lot of breaks. Cottrellville should not have the amount of water breaks that we have. I'm involved in multiple communities, and this winter I've had the most breaks on mains in Cottrellville Township. The mains that are breaking are not old mains. They're not mains that are in the old part of town. They're brand new mains. To me, they're brand new because I know when they went in the ground. I saw them going in the ground. So these mains were put in the 2000s. Those mains shouldn't be breaking. We've had a couple major breaks on McKinley in the past month. There's no rhyme or reason for where they're at. I mean, there's Starville Road we've had on that main. That main was put in, I think,
Either 2008 or 2009.
2008 or 9. So that main is not very old. We've had 6 breaks on that main, and it's uncommon. It's ductile iron main, should not break. So I don't know if there's a material deficiency. It's some things Nick and I are looking at to see, if we can determine if there's some sort of common denominator of why we're having these issues. I can say that in other municipalities, I've had some mains that are, ductile iron main is usually, that's the gold standard. That's what everybody's was using, because you never had issues with it. But we're having issues. So just so you're aware, we've had some. Yes, Tom?
Most of those breaks, I've been doing a little investigative work with the people who've been repairing them over the years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those breaks are pretty much all horizontal, and it's, from what I've been told, it's inferior pipe or too thin a pipe was bought, but they're saying mostly inferior pipe because there's no breaks. Like if something was given, they're down. They're all horizontal breaks, from what I was told.
Well, we've had a mixture of horizontal cracks in those pipes, and we've also had blowouts. There's been mains that have been blown out like a cast iron pipe would blow out. It's not it's not typical of ductile iron main. They don't usually have those types of breaks.
Is it at a fitting though, or?
No,
No?
no. So, yeah, there is a lower class of ductile iron pipe, and Cottrellville did have some of that out there. I believe that's what's on McKinley and Starville, which, it's still ductile iron pipe. We shouldn't be having those types of issues.
Now, Chris, is this something you think we should talk to our attorneys on and get a chunk of that pipe when they have a break, replace it with a piece and get a regular 4 or 5 foot chunk out of there so it can be analyzed if it's pipe? Because this thing's going to just keep on cracking and breaking for the life of the main. I mean, we've had way too many breaks.
Yeah, we're not gonna, I don't think there's gonna be any miracle that happens that the pipe's gonna stop breaking. It usually progresses. Couple issues you might have, though, I don't know, we'd have to find out who the pipe manufacturer was. There were a lot of manufacturers back when there was a swinging economy back in the early 2000s, and some of those have since gone away. There's a couple of big players that are still out there, so I don't know, we'd have to see who the pipe manufacturer was. I don't know which brand you had, but we could do some of that investigative work when we have a break under maybe a controlled situation.
I'm sure we got the receipts in the basement.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably, and some of the prints, maybe the bid docs and stuff will have the pipe call out and everything on it, so.
That first first water line, I think just the pipe was 250,000.
Yeah, the pipe's not, especially ductile iron, again, that's not the cheapest pipe. You shouldn't have the problems you're having.
No.
You shouldn't.
Just something that we should follow up and start working on because it's not going to get any better.
No, and then also just while we're touching on this, I hate to keep taking your time up, but every year I put together a pumpage report for the state. Basically, how much water we've brought in or we bought from each community. We buy water from Ira Township, Marine City, and a little bit from Clay Township. Our purchase from Ira Township doubled last year, almost exactly doubled. And there's a lot of unaccounted water for right now. We have to do, and this is, I guess, for anybody that's listening or anybody that's here, if you notice anything that looks like it's wet that shouldn't be wet out in the country, let us know, because there's some leaks, there's got to be some leaks going on that we just are not seeing, that they're not making their way to a surface like a big water main break. Because we literally doubled our usage from Ira Township. And we're not billing that to customers, so that cost is being, it's the burden onto the township. So that's just, another thing that we have to look out for. So these inferior mains could be causing these small leaks. Along Starville, or along Chartier's property there were multiple leaks there that he kept telling us there's got to be something going on, and we didn't disagree with it, but it just wasn't surfacing like a water main break would, and finally it got to the point where it was bubbling a little bit, so we said, okay, it's right here, it's got to be right here. So they're just slowly seeping. Water main stuff.
Well, thank you for that update.
Yep.
You all set, Tom?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Okay. The next item is F, new business. We have a request for approval of the St. Clair County Road work order number, it's for the 80/20 cost sharing, using local limestone match programs for 1,350 tons of 22A limestone for a project amount of $24,165. That the township's portion of that to be paid by the township is $4,833. Do we have a motion to approve so that the clerk and the supervisor can sign that work order?
I'll make a motion to approve that work order.
I'll
Okay.
second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Because it's spending money, all in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Bev?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Okay, motion carried. The next item is another work order for the county. It's for gravel hauling of 1/3 of the gravel roads of Cottrellville. We do 1/3 of the township roads in the, in the country every 3 years. This is for 3,510 ton of 22A limestone, and it's for $62,829. Do we have I would like to entertain a motion for approving that for this 21 season for us. The work order to be signed by the treasurer, or the clerk and the supervisor.
I'll make the motion.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion in 2 seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. The last item is one application of 21% chloride. It's a 2,000 gallons of mixture per mile to local roads in Cottrellville for the proposed amount of $13,052. This is also for the 21 season. Do we have a motion to approve that application for chloride, please?
I make a motion to approve the application of the chloride in the amount of $13,052.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for $13,052 for chloride. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes,
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
motion carried. Thank you very much. We have a request for purchasing maps for the assessor's office in the amount of $610. They're similar to these in the back here that are on the wall. Lots of people come in and just want to locate a certain drain or something, and all that information has been provided by the county, but we have to pay for it. We have a motion. Could I have a motion to approve the purchasing of the maps for the assessor's office in the amount of $610, please?
I make a motion to approve the purchasing of maps for the assessor's office in the amount of $610.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve that. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Now we have the amendments of the 2021 budget. These are changes for the year 3/31/21. The budget resolution number is 2021-001. I'm going to have Lynn DeLugie take care of any questions on that. I'm sure, Tom, you got yours in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and everyone else has got their stuff, so we'll be able to go through it real quickly unless you have a question. Do we want to go through it, or we want to just, I think we've been through it with each one of these, pretty thorough. It was also put on the website, right?
The agenda, or the whole packet? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, on the website and minutes on demand.
Okay, if there's nobody that wants to go through it here in front of everybody, we can just, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amendments provided by that budget resolution. And I will so move. Do we have a second?
Tom seconded.
Tom did? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by roll call vote, please.
Bev?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we're requesting a public hearing for the township budget for the coming year, for the year ending 3/31/2022, as well as a special meeting following that for the budget public hearing and the approval of the budget for 3/31/2022. That will be on Tuesday, the 16th of March, which is next week. It will be here, wait, is that one going to be on Zoom?
That one's going to be on Zoom.
That one's going to be
because-
on Zoom because the governor changed it after we have to put it in the paper so many days before we have the meeting, and we got it in early, and then we couldn't change it. So those can be done from home if you want to call in and see what's going on. So I need a motion to approve the holding of that public hearing and special meeting for the budget. for year ending 3/31/2022. And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye, please, by roll call vote.
Tom,
Yes.
Sherry, yes. Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. Last month, I brought it to your attention to be on the agenda as an additional thing, to be placed on the agenda, but the problem is I couldn't give you a copy because you guys were all home when we discussed it. It was for the payment of $749.83 to KCI for postage and printing assessments for the township. The actual printing was $457.32 for a total amount of $1,207.15. If we can approve that right now, so it's in the record, I'd appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to approve the KCI bill for $1,207.15.
Support?
I second.
Okay, we have a second by Bev. All in favor signify by saying aye, by roll call vote.
Tom,
Yes.
Mary Agnes,
Yes,
Bev,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
motion carried. Thank you very much. Now, we have the reappointment of the planning commission. There's nobody that advised me that they didn't want to continue serving, but last year, because of COVID, we never got around to approving those folks being, two of them actually served a whole year after that, so, but we'd like to put those back in if we could. And the sheet that I gave you shows you that the year that it did expire. The one that's to the left of that 2021 setup there is 23, 22, 24, so forth. Those are all the existing members and the time that they serve a 3-year jaunt. So the only two that served an extra year here was Pat Runyon and Roger Balak. And those two people should have been gone in April of 20. And because we really couldn't even hold any meetings, they were just stayed on, so. But I'd give them credit for that, so theirs will be expiring in 2023. Then we have two guys in 2022, that would be Stefano Quesady and Joe Treadaway. And then we have Lance Surday, who will serve until 2024, Ellen Jones, 2024, Lisa Marcus Pressman, 2024, and Jean Moore, 2024. And of course, you're stuck with me for 4 more years, too, because I serve on it. So if we could, with your permission, I'd like you to, this was put together by me, but I would like the approval of these members of the Planning Commission for this term.
I make a motion to approve these members for these terms.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the term appointments. I'm going to abstain because I'm on it.
Tom,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion
Mary
carried.
Agnes.
Thank you very much. All right, let's see what else we got on this. Okay, now we have 3 persons who have applied for the appointment of trustee, and we'll be considering one of those people to replace the former trustee, Susan Biscorner. You have all the information in a separate folder that I've given you. There's one on one side and 2 on the other, and they're paper clipped, they're stapled together so you can see what they are. I'm sure you've had a chance to go through them. One is Janelle Snyder. Hers came in February 4th. Carl Schabelsky. That was a good shot, huh? Irish. His came in on February 10th, and then a young lady by the name of Margaret Poglioio came in February 24th. Is she here? Oh, good. Hi there. Okay, is there anyone that has any questions to ask? Either Carl is here and so is Margaret. Is there any questions that you want to ask these 2 people while we do this, or? Tom, did you have any questions?
Is there any way how much, do we have any time left to vote on this? I'll be back in town before the 16th. Is there any way we can do it in person with just the board and the people that want to get in?
We're pretty close. The 16th is the day, and we can't hold it that meeting because that's a special meeting, and the only work that can be discussed at that meeting is the stuff that was advertised in the paper. So,
The actual 45th day is the 17th.
the actual 45th day is the 17th, Sherry just advised me.
I just like to talk to people and see their reaction and get more of a feel for them before I feel comfortable about voting for any one of them, or they're probably all good applicants, but I just always like to see them in person.
Okay, well, we're kind of under the wire here. The only thing, what day are you coming back to town?
I'll be in probably Monday night or Tuesday morning,
What's the date?
15th or 16th.
Okay, if we could have a special meeting on the 15th, just to discuss this if you wanted. You'd have to invite them back to the meeting here.
I wouldn't be until Monday night at the earliest.
Okay, well, that's not gonna help us. Well, it's the board's pleasure. Do you want to vote on it now, or do you want to, I don't know that we should wait. What do you think, Sherry? I would hate to have someone from the township turn us into the governor for waiting too long to do this. She doesn't have much of a sense of humor right now. What do you think, Bev?
Well, I think they all have good credentials, so, you know, I wouldn't feel bad voting today.
I wouldn't either. Are you prepared to vote?
Sure.
Tom, what do you think about three of us doing it? If you would rather not vote?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'd rather abstain until I'm comfortable who I'm voting for, at least meet them.
Okay. All right, well, I guess I need someone to make a motion to approve who they would select, and then I need a motion, or a second.
Do any of the applicants have anything to say or additional?
I mean, I know my background is primarily medical. I was in engineering prior to going into the medical field. I'm just interested in the township, what goes on behind and helping out and just being more involved. So, kind of, be honest, stepping out of my comfort zone. Like I said, I deal with people every day, working with patients. I'm a people person, so I'm kind of like taking the lead here, but I just thought it would be nice
You wouldn't mind stepping up there, would you,
Okay.
Margaret?
No, that's front and center, huh?
Yeah. Get used to it, honey.
Well, I know I'm primarily medical. Like I said, prior to, I had engineering background. I was administrative assistant for a while before I got into the medical field. But I would just like to be a little bit more involved, be behind the scenes, kind of just help out. Stepping out of my comfort zone, this is huge for me, but I mean, this is something I've thought about and I just want to, make a run for it. So, I am a therapist, so anybody needs any physical therapy.
That was my next question. Do we get group rates, or?
What's that?
I say, do we get group rates?
Maybe. But I primarily do home care now, so my schedule is pretty open. I pretty much come and go as I want, or work as much as little as I want. I know my resume had multiple companies on it because I'm contingent in a lot of companies. I've been doing it for 13 years, so. I have a daughter here at high school in Marine City, and that's just a son that graduated from Marine City, so that's a little bit about myself. I live on McKinley.
Very good. Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Not really.
No? Carol, you want to do anything?
Am I good?
Yep, you are all set. Thank you.
My background is also in engineering, specifically military engineering. I've worked with a lot of government programs, developing and various systems for the government. Lived here for over 20 years. Basically, I'm an electrical engineer, retired, put in over 34 years with General Dynamics. Wife wants me out of the house to start with, but, you know, I've watched a lot of growth in this area and figure I can help with the future of the township.
Anybody got any questions of me?
And both of you would be available monthly for this job, correct? Because sometimes we get people that, you know, will come for the winter or something, or leave for the winter and just be, so.
Yeah, maybe it's evening, so, no, I don't work after 5 o'clock, I try not to.
Okay. All right, do we want to make a motion to request one of these people to be our next trustee?
It's a toss-up. Too bad we can't have both. I'm sort of leaning to Mr. Zelbelsky. So
Is
I'll
that
make
in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a
Okay.
motion to.
We have a motion, do we have a second? I guess I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Roll call vote, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
Tom, are you abstaining?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Bev?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Are you interested in anything on, as far as, like, planning commission? We need,
I mean, I could,
that time, sometimes gives you like an inside track on how, that planning commission is something that, because we're always looking for good people.
yeah, certainly.
So, and you're young, that's what I like about, well,
Okay.
not that you're old, but,
But truthfully, you both have very good qualifications.
And I
yes.
think I appreciate you giving me the time, and like I said, this was new for me, I, different than like what I'm like used to, so I appreciate that, and yeah, I'd be interested in.
Okay, well, the next time we have you'll be getting a phone call from us.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, sir. You want to swear at him? I mean, swear him in? Sherry?
I don't have the paperwork.
That's all right. We'll do it next time. All right. Public comments from the group. Is there anybody that wants to step to the podium and speak on anything that was not talked about at the meeting or was not on the agenda? Yes, ma'am.
Leo's.
Leo's. Oh, yeah.
Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
my name is Lisa McKenzie, and I'm at 7505 River Road. Wondering if you had an update at 7503 River Road?
I do
for the
not.
seawall?
I have not heard a word. I'm
Okay.
leaving messages, I'm leaving texts, but I haven't heard anything from the DNR.
So it's been like 3 months. How long does it normally take? Do you know, or?
To get an answer out of the state, usually 3 months.
Okay.
So we'll see what
Okay,
materializes.
because like with the most
You'd be the
recent
first
high-
one I call, believe me, when I get it,
Yeah, we appreciate that.
because
we've
you guys
had,
are so patient.
Well, even with the rising water again, we've had more, our sandbags have failed now, and more of our fence has come down as a result. Like, the land is eroding quickly. So any kind of update is appreciated.
Well, in my request for the permit, I asked to be able to dig out whatever's fell in, and then I asked to truck the rest of it in. So we're gonna put you right back the way you were.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're very welcome. If they give me my permit. All right, we have one more thing that I forgot to. Leo's Pest Control.
Right.
They have two little jobs they do for us, the Township Hall in the garage and the Township Park play area, like the sandbox and stuff to, after they clean out the cats that have been playing in there, and the pavilions. So, one is, the general one for the Township Hall and Garage is $450 for the season 2021. The other one is the general park play area and the pavilions, and that is $295 for the season for 2021. I know they're two separate items, but if we can put them together, I'd appreciate it. I need a motion to approve those two items at those two amounts, and I'll make that motion. We have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second, and that is Leo's Pest Control. They're a local contractor that lives in our area, and we like to keep the money at home as long as we can. All right, can you give us a roll call vote for that, please?
Tom,
Yes.
Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion carried. I thank you very much. We have a letter from the Township Board regarding value changes for 2021. Did you get a chance to go through that? Do you want to kind of explain that? It was one of the things that she gave you to give us for the, let me see if I get my hands on it real fast. Here. Oh, you got it. Okay.
For this year's numbers, for the millage and the value, actually Barb has it better on the second
Veterans,
page.
yeah.
Because she doesn't have on here what the value of the property was in last year, so I really don't know. But in 2020, the different funds with the millage rates went from, in general fund operating went from 97,700 to 100,884. So we increased to $3,176. For roads, it went from 70,121 to 72,400, and we had an increase on the roads of $2,280. The fire department went from 123,526 to 127,542, so there was an increase in the fire department of $4,016. And the police went from 16,717 to 17,260, so an increase of $543. So overall, through all the funds, we had a $10,000 basic increase in revenue, which will be in the budget, which is shown in the budget book that we have out there. And if anybody would like to come in and look at it, they're more than welcome to.
Sherry, can we put this on the website as well? Okay, that'll probably be on by Monday then?
Yeah.
All right. So you can go through it individually that way yourself if you want. Okay, let's see, what else?
So actually then at Tuesday night's meeting, we'll review it, and if the board wants to make changes, we'll make the changes at that time on the budget.
So at this time, I want to extend an invitation to anyone that would want to come to the public hearing. That one would be, of course, by Zoom, so you're going to have to come in by telephone or computer. And that's Tuesday night, March 16th at 7 p.m. It shouldn't take too long, but you'll be able to either print off the things you want or, to ask questions about, and we'll be going through that pretty quick because Lynn did a fantastic job putting it all together. So, does anybody have any other comments? Questions? Concerns?
Yeah, I built a house right down the road here, 6550 Marsh Road, 7 years ago, 20 acres, beautiful. Built my house, I love it. And then in a few years after I built my home, I have a full running gun range right next to my house. I didn't move next to an airport. I didn't move next to a shooting range. How is this being allowed? It goes on constantly. It needs to stop. And I want some comments or some help.
Well, we're working on it, sir. You made a very good complaint to the Board of Review, which I also take the minutes for. And there were 2 other neighbors that did the same thing. I do have a petition from a lot of the people that were doing that, but what I've done is I've turned it over to somebody. I have a friend that's a paralegal. She's going through all this stuff right now. She's getting me all the things that I can use for ammunition. There's also going to be some things that that was a pun, wasn't it? No. What we'll be able to do is get enough beef to have the DNR come in and do something.
And that would be wonderful, because like I said, I built my dream home
I know.
I was there well before a gun range, and I should not have to live next to a fully functional gun range that's advertised on Facebook.
Well, my
So,
fear is that something's gonna happen before we stop it.
yeah, I can't even use my 20 acres to hunt on because I'm afraid of
Getting shot.
getting shot, you know?
That can't be legal, is it? I mean, that just seems crazy, he's got that range up. Somebody just told me about that recently.
Margaret, I have been called on weekends, holidays, and I've come out and sat there on the corner of Arnold and Marsh, listened to the shooting, called the police. I've had the sheriff come out to me, I've had the state police come out to me, I even had Clay Township come down one time because I told them I can't sit here too much longer, somebody's gotta bring me a car.
Yeah.
And these are 3 different times that I was called by the neighbors and I went out there. And the police say they can't do anything about it. So this is why we've got to do some more legwork. So if you can just give me a little time.
I know my neighbor on Shortcut was shooting into his backyard, and he actually hit my neighbor's house. He hit my neighbor's house a couple times, and they were doing wood back there, and I'm out across the street, and it's like,
I'm afraid to go on my 20 acres because it's not something to go war. I don't mind somebody shooting guns, that's great. But when you're on business and
Yeah.
advertising, I don't want a gun range, I don't want.
Yeah.
and I know your house is such a beautiful house.
They
Yeah,
even,
watch your house go
they even
up.
brought in Facebook passages where he's actually advertising that he runs this out here, so.
So they can't, this doesn't seem unrelated, it seems like that's not a legal gun range.
Well,
It's gotta be licensed in place, and
We don't license.
Licensed by the state, it's
Yeah.
gotta be approved by the state.
That's what I'm finding out, so
Okay.
I'll get enough together and see what we can do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, I found my voice to be heard, and I'm glad everybody has open ears.
Well, you made a big impression on the board of review. They just, so.
Yeah.
But we've started on working on it, so. All right, anybody else got anything else? You got any questions there, Carl, about being on the trustees? No?
Actually, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Does anybody have any idea when Shortcut might be fixed?
I've got, how many $1,000 put away already?
I'm just
About
curious.
72,000.
Every
But I-
time I drive down that road, there's like apartments and.
For this year, yes.
Yeah, I need like 290. So what we're trying to do is, we've got a little millage that comes in, it brings me about $62,000 a year. It's been happening that we've been using half of it every time because we have crossroad tubes that are all failing at once.
Gotcha.
We put in 3 on Marsh Road just last year.
Yeah,
And if it hadn't been for that millage, we would have been screwed.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any extra money.
yeah, so how close are you to? I'm sorry you said that, but I cut you.
Well, it was 72,000, but
Yeah.
that's just if we don't get in
'Cause
an
it's just
emergency
from-
where we have to replace a bridge or something, you don't know, but,
Yeah, isn't it from Marsh all the way down to Starville, right? Where it's the worst?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the only part that belongs to Cottrellville.
I was just, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, I know I've had people move away already because they were upset that they couldn't get it fixed, but we did get the one tube fixed on the end.
Yeah,
That was one of the collapses, so, and then we had 2 or 3 on Marsh Road too, in the section that belongs to us. The county takes care of everything to Chartier, and then from Chartier north is our obligation, so
Gotcha.
that's where they've collapsed. We got one more that's going in on, I wanna say Plank Road, that we're gonna do this, that's one of the ones that's in the $50,000 range. They're matching that with me, so we only
Okay.
have to come up with half of that. But still a lot of money.
yeah,
And if we didn't have that fund, I thank God every day that we have that fund to rely on.
so hopefully soon, right?
All right?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Come and see us when you have other questions. You have good questions. All right, if there's nothing else, I entertain a motion to adjourn at, what time is it?
8:20.
8:20. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion
Aye.
carried. Thank you, everybody. Good night.